Hey everybody, welcome to the Threadcast. We're here with episode 4. No special guest today. We got our old boy Danny back. But first, let's go around the table, starting with Danny. How was your week, or 2 weeks, I should say?
Yeah. My vacation was all right. This week I actually broke down and got the PlayStation Plus back.
After he said no.
I wasn't gonna get it, but I had to get it because
for online and everything, right?
For online.
Why didn't you want to get it though?
Because it's expensive as hell.
Did you come with some good games this month?
Overwatch, that's it. Because Overwatch actually released a new update.
No, yeah. Well, Overwatch came out with an update, so he had to get it.
Oh, gotcha.
But the PS Plus games, I mean, that's a topic, but for sure we'll probably get into that because they're not too great lately. And
they were pretty good.
All right, so I mean, you exploded and you're back. So, as according to the last podcast, and Mr. Grandmaster, the Sub-Zero guy himself, how was your week?
Pretty cool. My daughter's off school for spring break, so yeah, we just stayed up to like 1, 2 a.m. and woke up whenever we felt like it, and didn't go anywhere. We just binge watched YouTube and Hulu and all that stuff. So
that's never
pretty much it.
That's always good.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, our producer himself, Mr. Tanner. How was your week?
Working hard again.
Hardly working?
Hardly working. Either or. Put in my 8 hours in and then taking off, so to speak.
Man, I wish I could do that.
Yeah. I rented a Deus Ex, so that was kind of cool. Played that a little bit.
I haven't heard much about that game, but
yeah, I was always a fan of the older ones and stuff. But it's an older game by now. But I finally got around to getting it because I'm borrowing an Xbox One.
Speaking of renting, where'd you rent it from?
Yeah, I just got it from the grocery store. You know, the red box machines they have.
So right, they have.
Yeah,
just give it a shot.
I figured I'd try to play it for a couple of days, spend a few bucks, be able to bring something up today.
Cool. That works. We could talk some Deus Ex.
Other than that, yeah, just watching Netflix and.
What else can you do? Really?
Yeah.
Falling asleep with the Netflix running, waking up.
Always. I'm on YouTube, but yeah. All right. And then, of course, me, my week, it's been... I spent the week turning 30. I hit the 3-0.
Yeah, welcome to the club.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
I'm right behind you, man.
Yeah, you're next,
That's
right?
a topic right there.
That's a topic.
That's a shitty topic.
I'm ahead of all of you guys. I turned 30 last August. I'm turning 31.
Let's not talk about it anymore. Except bring everybody down.
Yeah, okay. So that was it.
Yeah, Tanner doesn't want to do the podcast anymore because of that.
I'm out of here.
That's it. It's over. We're done. Pack it up. Episode 4. 4 and done. Well, not even. More like 3 1/4 done.
Good run.
It was a good. It was good while it lasted. But yeah, okay. Oh, other thing. I got my dad. I've been trying to get this for a while. Like, I've been trying to show my dad that comic books. My dad has an innocent viewpoint on comic books. Like, hey, they're for kids, you know. Superman goes around and punches a bad guy in the face, and we call it a day, right?
Yeah, how many kids do you see at Comic-Con, though?
Yeah, exactly. But see, my dad doesn't. He doesn't know anything about that.
That's old-fashioned.
Exactly. So I gave him this DC comic called Kingdom Come, which is probably considered one of, if not the best DC storyline or story arc. I had him read it, and I guess I should go into like what the story is, so you guys kind of have a context. It's massive spoilers for Kingdom Come here. Nope. So if you want to read it. I encourage you to read it. Hopefully, even just me talking about it is spoiling it.
I'm already excited to go check it out.
Yeah, so cancel the podcast again.
I'm gonna go read it right now, and we'll come back.
Okay, so there have been a few times where writers have been trying to tell us stories because, like, mostly comics don't have an ending, you know? Yeah. Batman's always fighting, you know, they're always doing their thing. Justice League is fighting Batman's over 75 years old, but he's still Superman, you know? I mean, Superman's still 75 years old, but he's still the same, you know? Same thing with Batman. He's already past that 75-year mark.
He's still fighting, huh?
Yeah, so and this was still almost like an attempt to write, like, a finale to the Justice League story. Like, they can make a million stories from here to the end of time, but the idea would being, like, this is always going to lead up to this story arc. Like, you can put this story arc at the end, you know?
Okay.
So, basically, you know, to set things up, it's the future. The Justice League is older. They're not the same members. A lot of them are old, like Superman. He's starting to have a little gray hair on the sides.
Yeah. He just hangs out on the space station all day.
Well, not even. Like, he actually quits being a superhero because...
plays a lot of bingo. So.
He just waters the plants around.
Yeah, you know, you got that Wednesday. That's actually close to what he does.
Okay.
He just plants stuff.
He trims the bonsai tree.
He takes care of the farm, you know? I mean, I don't know about bonsai.
Just water aerobics everywhere.
You know? He's gotta get his activities in still somehow. But
so many activities.
But basically, the landscape has changed in terms of heroes, and we get you get a new wave of heroes coming in that are a lot more violent. And, you know, the anti-hero becomes a thing, very popular. And the Joker goes to Metropolis, and he gasses the Daily Planet.
Is he old too?
Yeah, he's older. Yeah, he's still, but he looks like Jack Nicholson in the comic book, which is pretty hilarious.
He's got the scars going or no?
You can't really tell because he's only in like a few shots.
Okay.
You just see him when he's being taken. Because after he gasses everybody in the Daily Planet and kills everybody in there, including Lois Lane.
Mm-hmm.
And
Superman's not gonna be happy about that.
Oh no, he wasn't. But he didn't like go crazy and kill.
He just slapped him and was like, "Don't do that again."
Well, he captured him. He's like, "All right, I'm taking you in, Joker. You freaking Joker." and then on the way to the courthouse, this new hero shows up named Magog, and he just blasts the Joker in the face.
Oh, cool.
Murders him.
Good for him.
And then Superman's like, "You can't do that. You can't just murder people like this. You're going to jail." And there's a big court case that happens, and the public sides with Magog, just like you were doing right now.
Yeah.
They were like, man, Joker got what he deserved. Like, I'm tired of this old-fashioned justice here that Superman's doing. Like, this is what we want. We want the criminals to start paying like for this. And Superman's like,
might be able to come back from it.
Yeah. So like, Superman's like, okay, well, I guess there's no place for me here anymore. If this is the kind of justice you guys want from now on.
Yeah.
So he's like,
grabs his briefcase and grabs his hat and he's like,
pretty much. He
like
leaves and then
goes fishing for a while.
Yeah, he just goes off.
A lot of other superheroes leave. Wonder Woman, I don't know if you guys are familiar with her origins or anything. Like
A little bit.
She was sent to America as an ambassador, for the Amazons, and her mission was to make the world a better place, the world of men a better place. Well, considering how things have gotten out of hand with all these anti-heroes and stuff, they considered her mission a failure. So they cut her off from Amazon, the Amazon culture. So she's not even considered Amazonian.
She's shunned or whatever.
Yeah, they stripped her of her culture, and she's not a princess anymore. She's just that you're not Amazonian, basically. And then so
you're just an American,
huh? You're somebody now.
You're just an American that can live forever. Right?
Yeah. So the Magog and the anti-hero stuff gets out of hand. Like instead of the good guys fighting bad guys. There's still good guys fighting bad guys, but the good guys don't really care about collateral damage anymore. Mm-hmm. So they're just fighting out in the street like it's gang warfare. And then it gets to the point where a big explosion happens, a bunch of people die, and Magog was responsible for it. And then Superman comes back from retirement. He gets the old crew back together, and he tries to say, "Look, you guys are gonna fall in line and start learning what it means to be a real hero, or we're gonna make you." Which is kind of Superman's big mistake there, because. I won't. That's about like halfway through the story, so I won't go any more in there. But
yeah, you shouldn't because it sounds really cool. So.
Yeah, like that's kind of like the big setup for Superman to come back, and then it's kind of the reason why my dad wasn't too into it was the writing in the book is amazing. Like I don't want to say any of the lines because I'm afraid I'll butcher the stuff.
Is it one of those things where the visuals are kind of
also the art is probably the best you've ever seen in the comic. They're basically each panel is like a painting.
Okay,
Danny, you've seen this before, right?
It's amazing.
Like Alex Ross kind of stuff.
It's Alex Ross, exactly.
So is it like one of these big fat comic books that are like $20 each? Because
it's because when it was out, they came out in separate issues, and then.
But you can buy the whole thing together.
Yeah,
right?
trade paperback, and I think the book came out in the '90s. I'm not sure exactly what year, but it was in the '90s, and yeah, like I let my dad read it because I'm like, this is like the writing in here is amazing, the art is amazing, but it was kind of too much for him. He wasn't expecting it to be that deep. Like there's some they go into some Bible references in there because there's a big like end of the world theme going on in the book that it's building up to, and it kind of plays off a lot of Bible verses. And then my dad's like, I wasn't expecting this. Like I kind of don't want to associate my real world stuff with comic book stuff.
Yeah,
and I'm like, this is amazing. Like they're taking it seriously, and it's good writing. Like this is on par with like actual novels. People want to say comic books were for kids, but
so your dad liked it until it got to a certain part.
He's like, I like the fighting and stuff and the action and some of the stuff was cool, but yeah, when it got a little too philosophical or a little too like where there was actual meaning behind things.
Yeah.
He kind of was like, nah, I kind of like my superheroes to be like old school Superman or Batman, where you just jump in there. Punch the bad guy, grab Lois Lane, and we're out of here,
Yeah. You should bought a He-Man comic then.
Yeah, so like, yeah, probably He-Man. You have to, if any interesting comics at all, or any of those characters, that's definitely one to check out.
Yeah, it sounds cool. It sounds really, really cool.
Yeah, my dad, the verdict was, he said it was okay. That's it, and I'm like, I'm looking at him.
You got the seal of approval.
I'm looking at him like, there's
only okay.
Yeah, there's some of the words in here almost brought me to tears when I read this thing, and he's just like, it's okay. It's a little too much for me, but you know what? I have to. I guess I know what I'll recommend them next. Something a little more like maybe Teen Titans or something.
So your review, just your review alone, would you give it 10 out of 10?
I would definitely give it a 10 out of 10. Like, I've never, usually when it comes to comic books, you never get the full package. It's always like, the writing's okay, and the art's not as good, or the opposite. But
one or the other.
As a whole, and just the whole way the story plays out, usually comics have great setups, but when it comes to paying them off, that's where you get the ridiculous, like, what the heck, Magic Rock came out of nowhere and solved my problem? Like, because the writers, they can build the arcs, but when it comes to making them pay off, that's usually when the comics kind of fall apart sometimes.
Yeah.
But this, I have to say, it's a complete story, and that's...
And how long was the run? Like, how many trades would it be?
I think it was 4 issues, so the trade paperback's not that big. Yeah. They came out recently with the 20th anniversary this year, so it's... that's definitely worth checking out. It actually has extra stuff, and it's filled with concept art.
That's cool.
And yeah, so if you're interested to see what kind of the final state of the Justice League, and a lot of the characters, their kids are in there and things like that. So it's pretty cool to see all the heroes.
Families involved.
Yeah, and you kind of see characters that you never would have seen in the comics because it's in the future. It's like, well, look, Constantine and Zatanna had a baby, and that's the son right there fighting in there. So yeah,
Sounds sick.
Yeah, so leading to that, at least in DC Comics, keep it on the DC course. Like we've done for the last couple weeks.
Injustice?
More Injustice 2 stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah, I know we talk about that every week, but every week
there's something to talk about.
Something new pops up every week, so...
Literally releasing trailers like every other day.
Yeah, they're releasing trailers. The new Shattered Alliance one looked pretty cool. And they got a new villain. Who's that villain?
Brainiac.
Yeah.
Which I was excited to see because all the trailers were making it seem like Superman was still the villain, even though he was a villain in the first game.
Yeah.
Spoilers, they sent him to the Phantom Zone.
Especially like in the interactions, too. When he's having an interaction with the player, he's in handcuffs, and he breaks those handcuffs off.
Yeah, so they're still going to have that there for sure in the game. But
I don't know,
so he could break those cuffs.
Yeah. You can always break those.
You can always break those cuffs. You just...
Why would you... That's another thing. Why would you put Superman in handcuffs?
Who actually was able to do that? Who could actually like physically put Superman in handcuffs? If they wanted to.
I mean...
Someone just asked him nicely, and he was like, okay.
He's like, all right, fine.
Well, I remember the Man of Steel movie, he let them put him in the handcuffs.
So he would just let him do it, huh?
Yeah, but then he just immediately snapped them. He's like, look, guys, I'm done playing around. Like, I let you guys put me in handcuffs to make you guys feel good, but
yeah,
we're done.
So the trailer, all NetherRealm trailers always look cool.
Yes.
MKX's trailer looked really, really, really cool.
Yes.
NetherRealm's really good at doing that. They're really good at making good trailers.
They've all looked really good.
Yeah, so...
There's a good amount of them out, too.
Any other? We talked about Captain Cold last time, but any
yeah, they did a few, but the ones I watched, they did 2 new character breakthroughs and gameplays. They did Deadshot and they did Poison Ivy. Now, Deadshot, I'm really, really loving what they're doing with Deadshot. A lot of people are going to hate him because it's a zoning character.
Right.
So he has
I have memories of early Deathstroke.
Yeah, it's basically, if you guys played Injustice 1. It's basically another Deathstroke. It's going to piss a lot of people off. It's going to be hard to get in there.
But Deathstroke had a sword, at least,
Yeah.
He could throw down when it came down to it.
So what they were showing is, okay, he has his 2 wrist guns, or whatever they're called. I don't know what they're called, but he has these...
I don't know the name either, yeah.
There's these 2 wrist guns, and he can shoot like one shot, or if you meter burn it, he shoots multiple shots at. And if you meter burn it, you can shoot and dash back, or shoot and go forward to do pressure at the same time. He also has a rifle that does multiple shots, does a lot of damage. He has what else does he have? He has this thing called the Assassin's Knee. It's just like a flying forward knee. He's not really combo heavy. He has 1 overhead, but it's punishable on block. So he has a lot of risk with little reward.
Okay.
But at the same time, you're keeping your opponent away. Like you got to keep them.
You're being annoying.
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. So I know I'm going to be playing him, and I know when I do play him, I'm going to be getting a lot of hate messages.
Yeah, probably for me because
a lot of.
Come on, man.
I'm getting a lot of racial and homophobic slurs. I'm actually.
You won't get that from me.
I'm actually really looking forward to actually filming that and putting it on YouTube because I'm gonna be putting it all on YouTube. Them saying, "No, you only picked effing Deathstroke because of this. Oh, you son of a bitch." Blah blah blah. And they're gonna. And it's really funny too if you go on YouTube and you watch the old videos, the Deathstroke trolling videos. It's really funny seeing those people get pissed off. So I'm looking forward to that. Deadshot too. He also has these power. He can enhance his ammo too. So he has I think there's a red one where it makes the bullets red. That does more damage.
Okay.
There's a blue one where it makes the opponent fall back. So if you shoot them, it's going to do a hard knockdown. They're going to go flying. And then he has a green one, which is called the poison ammo. If you shoot and hit them, it drains their meter. So I think that's going to be pretty cool. Pretty cool and very annoying at the same time.
Yeah, that sounds all bad.
If you go to the comments section and look at it, there's a lot of people that are hating Deadshot right now. I'm one of the few that like him, that are going to be playing Deadshot a lot. But that's just how my play style is. I'm defensive. I'm not... I mean, I can, but I prefer not to play up in the face, offensive. I'm more of a defensive player. Like you watch my video, Sub-Zero, I'm hiding behind ice clones. So
Ice clones?
yeah, I'm hiding behind ice clones. I'm throwing you in the ice clones. Same thing with Deadshot. I'm going to be playing that keep away game a lot too. That looks...
Well, I'd be remiss if you have to... You got to get some time with Captain Cold. I really think.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it with everybody.
I feel we talked about last week, man.
Yeah, Captain Cold. He needs his day in the ice, I guess.
But then again, like you mentioned too, you just never know. I mean, like...
Yeah, Deadshot might not be your character.
Yeah, I mean, like, I thought, when MKX came out, I thought, wow, I was really loving, Reptile. I played him. I did not like Reptile whatsoever. And, I never played Sub-Zero. I never played him in the other games. So you just got to see, like I did with Mortal Kombat, you got to play a bunch of them and see who I really like.
And now he's your defining character.
Yeah.
You're the Sub-Zero guy.
I'm actually the Sub-Zero guy. I'm surprised they haven't called me to play that part for that new remake coming up.
Yeah, oh, hey, that'd be good. Oh, but Injustice...
Yeah, dream come true for you.
Oh, yeah. There we go, man.
The first Injustice, I'm a big Superman fan. That's if you see me.
I heard he was pretty overpowered.
At first,
I never played Injustice 1, just to let you know, guys know.
He was, but I was terrible. He did not fit my playstyle at all.
But was he a cheap character if somebody was good with him?
Yeah. The evil, the big controversial, the reason why Injustice was effectively killed off after that, because at Evo with the guy that won with Superman.
Okay.
He was just doing these chains where he would meter burn the freeze breath.
Mm-hmm.
So you would be frozen, and it was just doing like 75% combos.
But that's the thing with these tournaments, especially the big ones like Evo. Whoever wins is going to win it with a top tier guy.
Yeah.
They're not going to win it with someone mid tier, low tier.
Yeah, but it got to the point where like he was literally doing the same two combos, and we were rooting for him to lose. Like I was rooting against Superman
because you just got so annoyed by the so-called cheapness.
Yeah, and I couldn't really play him that well. Like I'm a big Superman fan, and I couldn't. Yeah. I was way better with Green Arrow. Like me and Danny played a lot of Injustice, and he plays Aquaman and stuff. And when we go Aquaman versus Superman, he wins usually most of the time.
Mm-hmm. But if it was like a pro Superman playing a pro Aquaman, who has the upper hand?
Superman, of course.
Superman?
He had just to tell you, his super was 5 frames across the screen.
Okay.
So he can punish a jab. If you were on the other side, if Danny was playing against Danny and he is on the opposite side of the screen and he just accidentally hits the jab button, I can tap the super button and it will punish him from across the screen. God. 5 frames, and then they had to up it because of that.
You know who else was like this? If we go back last week, I guess if you have the right gear equipped, is Bane. Like if you do the level 3 poison and you have the right gear and you hit him with a super, just the super by itself, it does like 80% damage. And I think, I don't care how low tier a character is or what you got to do to get that. I think 80% off of one move is pure bullshit.
Well, the gear system, I'm like,
that's another thing I should talk about too.
Go into that for sure.
The gear system. People like say, I'll probably screw around with the gear system, but I can't take it serious because in tournaments you're not allowed to use gear.
Yeah, so there's no point.
So there's no point in me trying to use this gear because the gears in Injustice 2, it makes them do different moves. It gives them power-ups, armor-ups, stuff like that.
Which I think ruins a fighting game.
It does. Well,
what is it, like you go to a shop and buy gear?
No, you earn it.
You earn gear. It's like you earn loot after each fight.
It's like
you equip it to the characters.
Yeah, like for Deadshot, they have this one gear where he'll crouch and he'll shoot his arm pistols at you. So it's so hard to get over. You have to block it, you have to eat it, or you have to time the jumping just perfect because he'll shoot more than one out. Yeah. So that's gonna be really cheap too with Deadshot.
I mean, I just don't understand how that works. Like fighting games are built on balance, and then you're throwing in a mechanic that it's impossible to balance. That's why they're going to have a tournament mode where you.
That's what they did for Street Fighter Cross Tekken. Even though the game was a bust, it did make it to one Evo.
Yeah.
And when you played
team tournament.
Yeah, when you played, you couldn't equip any gems. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm probably gonna have like
Wait,
two.
for those that don't know, the gem system that they had was you can equip gems that affected your stats.
Yeah, it made your attack stronger, it made you faster, it made you build meter faster, a bunch of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have like 2 accounts. I'm gonna play on my original Grandmaster account, which is no gear, and then I'm gonna have my other account, which I'm gonna play, just messing around with the game and equipping gear too, because I want to try to enjoy it as much as I can. But then again, I don't see the point of me practicing so much with gear that I go to Evo and I play a guy when I can't use that gear.
Yeah, there's no point in
Yeah.
trying to learn oh yeah, I got this gear does this and this, and then you adjust your playstyle to what that gear gives you.
You're gonna get used to it, and then go into a tournament,
and then it's
and
like,
you're
wait,
gonna
what? I gotta use default moves and default this, because some of the gear actually gives you different moves.
Yeah.
What I think they should have done like what Mortal Kombat X does. You know how you can pick 3 different variations, right?
Yes.
You should be able to go in there and they should have, the regular Deadshot, then a set 1 and set 2. You guys get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you can
Your loadout.
Yeah, a loadout. Yeah, they should have like I'd say 2 or 3 default
Set
loadouts.
up,
That way you can just equip it. Okay, like if I equip this loadout, I can shoot my rifle in the air. Or if I equip this loadout, I get more. I don't know, whatever. I get more strength or power or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what I think they should have done. They should have had 2 or 3 default loadouts.
Yeah.
But they didn't do that.
I mean, that gear system, I have to be honest, it almost turned me off to the game completely. If it wasn't, even the story, I'm already had issues with the story because Superman's a villain again. In the first game, it was whatever. And then the second game, they're doing the exact same thing until the Brainiac trailer showed up that he's the actual villain. But I was already like, come on. But cosmetically, I think it's cool, the gear system, being able to change how your character looks. But I don't care about custom looking Superman. I want to make him look like a certain era of Superman. I wonder if they'll let you do that. So, I mean, I'm not sure how far that gear system goes.
Yeah, I was at the wait and see, and it might suck. It might, because in Street Fighter Cross Tekken, the gem system sucked. I believe it sucked.
I never used it. Never.
Yeah, I
Never
used.
played that one.
Street Fighter Cross Tekken?
Yeah, never played it. But
I actually did enjoy it, but I could tell it wasn't like, even though I was enjoying it, I could tell a lot of other people weren't enjoying it.
Well, it had bad launch, and then they had issues. There was a big problem. Everybody was mad because of the DLC structure that they had.
Oh yeah,
selling you characters that were already on the disc.
Yeah,
like half the characters.
Because
Were
there are some players on there that found out how to hack the DLC characters because the DLC was already on the disc.
Yeah, they were already in the game. Yeah,
just had the unlock it.
Yeah, so they figured out how to unlock it. So what was already on the disc, you had to pay $20 to unlock. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So like you had to download it and do an online purchase.
Yeah, so that's what pissed a lot of people off.
And then the game itself had its own problems. But they rolled out a patch a year after the game was released, when everybody was not playing it anymore. So if you play the game now, it's a solid fighting game. It's actually really good now.
It just took some time to...
But yeah, they put that patch out just for goodwill, but nobody's playing it anymore.
You know what I think they're going to do too, and I don't blame them either, because every company is going to do this. They're going to have this DLC that you can pay for certain kind of gear. I bet you they're going to do, because like in Street Fighter Cross Tekken, there was
it's already there. You seen the GameStop pre-order packs? There's 3 different packs, and you get gear sets.
No, I'm talking about like further down the line.
Oh, okay. Oh, for sure.
Like with Street Fighter Cross Tekken, they had this one gem package. It was like $5, which I'm not paying $5 for any gems.
Yeah.
But one of the gems, and it was so cheap too, was the auto block gem. So no matter what you were doing, the only way you could, if your opponent's standing still, the only way you can beat them is by either throwing them or chipping them out.
Yeah,
so,
they really don't have to worry about blocking.
Yeah, so they're just... Yeah, I used to hate playing that. And what would happen too is like you knew you'd play them like from the get-go, because their power bar, their energy, or their health, their life would be purple instead of yellow. So that's what you're like, oh fuck, I got this guy that bought the gem package.
Yeah.
Overshield.
Pay to win, Pay to win. That's
the days of just putting in the code. Get a secret character that way. Beating the game.
Beat
getting
arcade
a character.
mode, yeah. You beat arcade mode with a certain character.
That's how it used to be. You beat arcade mode, you got either something... You'd get like a certain prize, or you'd get an alternate costume. That's how it used to be.
Yeah.
Now it's okay. You want like when I'm playing Street Fighter 5, I want to play the Ryu with the beard.
Otherwise known as Hot Ryu.
Yeah. But I'm not paying $5 to do it.
It's the official name.
I mean, I'll pay $5 for like 4 or 5 other characters, like if it was a bundle. But no, $5 for one costume. No.
I had the code for that thing because I pre-ordered Street Fighter 5.
Oh, God.
I never used it.
You should. Oh my God! I hope you kept it, man.
I don't know. I had it when I was in Vegas, so I have no idea. That was
I'd call
months
your
ago.
cousins then, see if they found it.
My receipt, the owner of the code's still valid.
I mean, everyone's like, "Oh, it's just $5." I'm like, yeah, it's just $5, but it's $5 for a costume. I mean, that's how much the Final Fantasy episode was $5.
Yeah. And that was at least, Good chunk of gameplay.
Yeah.
Good chunk of gameplay, an hour maybe at most.
Yeah.
An hour, something like that.
But yeah, about Injustice. All I gotta say is
When did that come out?
Injustice. It's not out yet. It's
The new one, too.
Yeah,
Comes
that's
out
right.
next month.
That's right, next month. Yeah.
next month. I think the first one came out on April. I remember around my birthday
Yeah,
was
it's
out,
been
and
a
I was
while.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, no.
And then really quick, I know we've been talking about it for a long time, but I'll make this one short and quick. They also came out with another character gameplay, which is Poison Ivy.
Yes.
She looks pretty cool too. She's also a zoner too. She has her vines that come out the ground and hit you. She can summon a monster plant that's spitting acid or venom, whatever it is, at you while you're trying to pressure your opponent. She also has one other move where she gains armor. I think it's called like the hard something. I don't know what it's called. Don't call me like hard skin or something skin. You know, her skin turns all brown and black. It looks pretty cool. And then with her gear system, you can upgrade it to, instead of having the hard skin, you have thorns around you. So if your opponent hits you, they take a little bit of damage.
They get hurt for hurting you.
Yeah.
You don't like that?
No, I'm shaking my head.
No, you know what? Another thing too. If we go back, let's go back to my olden days. I actually lost a freaking match playing a Reptile Nauseous player. Because Nauseous, what it would do is because it made Reptile all smelly and had flies around him. If you got close to Reptile, you took little tiny damage over time.
Yeah.
I lost a match one time because I was like getting up in his face and being aggressive, and he chipped me out because of that crap.
It's terrible. That's little mechanics like that really like.
Yeah, and then there's nothing you can do about it with Sub-Zero too, because Sub-Zero doesn't have any projectiles. He doesn't have any. He can freeze you, but his freeze doesn't do any damage. You mean you have to like freeze and you have to get up close and combo him.
I figured it would do some kind of chip damage or something.
No, it doesn't chip.
No, nothing,
It doesn't chip. It's not like
Strip you just for holding him.
Yeah, it doesn't chip.
Give you that chance to make
Hey
a
man,
move.
that's Sub-Zero was the only way I used to be able to beat Shao Kahn back in the day because he would just freeze.
So she has that too, and then her vines change too.
There was also a Catwoman video released.
Yeah.
One of her moves, which Catwoman's Catwoman.
Yeah,
pretty
she's really fast too. I think she has like probably the fastest walk speed in the game. She's really quick.
cool. She was definitely a speed character in the first
Yeah.
one also. But
I guess she would be, right?
Catwoman. She's Catwoman. Yeah. She got her whip. You know, I think she actually can call out a cat to help her.
Yeah, she can call it a cat.
She always
to
lands on all
distract
fours.
you.
One of the alley. Yeah, one of the
Hit her
alley.
in the air. She just.
No, she has a stance too, where she gets. No, she has a stance where she gets on all fours, and then I guess you can choose what to do, like you do an anti-air or a low or something like
Yeah,
that.
she got some weird thing.
Something like
her
that.
power in the other one was just a dodge. It
Yeah.
was like a dodge counter or something.
All those great cat powers.
But I will say, I got if I can have T-shirt and jeans Superman in there, which you guys probably don't know, but I'm talking about. But if I can get that costume, I will be happy because I was waiting for that in Injustice and then it never came. Out of all the list of his costumes, like just regular T-shirt and jeans Superman, it was cool. But Danny, Injustice, we've played a lot of Injustice, so you got to have some thoughts on Injustice too.
I haven't seen anything new, so I can't really say.
You haven't seen anything, or you haven't seen anything that we already.
I mean,
talked
I've seen
about?
the one where Superman's still in handcuffs.
Have
That's
you
it.
seen
The new stuff? No.
You haven't seen like the character breakthroughs or anything
Nothing
like that?
like that.
Oh.
So that's what.
Like Canary looks pretty dope. She's a new character.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
I'm just hoping that they have Aquaman back.
Yeah, no, he's there.
Okay.
He's there.
Okay, because that's the only way I can beat him with Superman, with Aquaman.
Yeah, Aquaman. I got some issues with Aquaman's range in the first game. He had a trident. You know, I got heat vision, but come on. His trident can teleport. I don't remember that powerful Aquaman.
Right.
But anyways, getting into the, we got Nether Realms. They get some special guest characters. They had Jason in there.
Yeah.
And
yeah, Jason
MKX.
Wolf, MKX.
Which is pretty dope. So speaking of Jason, we got a new game coming out.
Yeah, I don't know when, but it's Friday the 13th supposed to be coming out, and from the game, I guess from the gameplay trailers, it looks pretty cool. It looks like kind of like a hide and seek kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure.
So I guess like you can either pick to play as Jason, or you can pick to play as one of the camp kids. So if you play as Jason, obviously your objective is to kill all the camp kids.
Yeah. I've seen some gameplay. You can kind of duck into underneath the beds and into little closets and spaces and try to. But he has like a vision to where he can kind of sense where the campers are at.
Yeah,
kind of track them
like-
down.
if they're moving around.
He has a missed teleport too.
Yeah.
Which I think is pretty. He had that in MKX, so
MKX,
that looks really cool.
It seems cool. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some neat things in there. Like
It's a Kickstarted game, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it is.
See,
And
that game would look sick in VR. Like,
Yeah,
a VR,
but it's a
just
third
flip
person,
around.
right?
it's a
Yeah,
third
third
It
person.
would still look sick though,
It's
3D
still
and
like
everything.
3D
Yeah.
and everything.
I mean, all the VR headsets are 3D, right? There's none that are.
I have no idea, man. I'm not buying that.
I haven't bought it, but I think that's a big thing is that they're all 3D. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, don't quote us on that one.
The kill scenes look pretty cool too. The way
they had to get those right for sure.
Yeah.
That's the one thing they had to get right. Kills.
Oh,
kill,
yeah.
Like kid under the bed or something.
Yeah, the stuff looks pretty interesting. Like horror games lately have been based a lot of that since Amnesia, like of the hide and seek mechanic.
Yeah.
Even the last like Alien game, Alien Isolation, exact same thing. You're hiding around and the aliens coming after you. So that's kind of gotten really popular, and it's kind of cool that they're turning it into a multiplayer kind of thing.
Yeah.
One guy's Jason, and you're trying to hide and help each other, or that's pretty interesting.
So when's that supposed to be coming out?
Anybody know? We got a date on that?
They always delay it, and they always.
Is it out of like Kickstarter production, or still collecting funds and all that?
Who knows?
I know I've heard about it probably a year ago, so it's been a little while in development. But
yeah, like I think it's available like on Steam Greenlight already, so you can mess around with like the preview builds.
There's betas and stuff, yeah. May 26th.
Dang, so that's already we're getting there. We're getting to that Jason time. Well, I saw that game Evolve that came out. That was dumb.
Yeah.
You have
I was playing that a little bit last week. I almost mentioned it, but I didn't. But yeah,
how'd you like it?
It was. I haven't really sunk my teeth into it too much, but it's
Didn't
kind of cool that you can play bots. Because I don't imagine that being a game I'd play online.
Didn't they make an Evolve too?
No,
they had the first one, but
this edition I got had all the characters. At this point, there's quite a bit of characters to like choose from, which was kind of cool, and some good monster selections. But the game itself, it's very, it's like a one-trick pony almost.
I mean, the game it was very much up its own ass, which is kind of shot itself in the foot.
Game up, I remember.
Yeah, I remember playing that like at a Comic-Con. Like the year before it came out, waiting forever in line just to play one round that went by so quick because the monster tore us up.
Yeah, have you guys noticed lately too? A lot of games are fucking up more often than they should now. I mean, a lot. Like if 10 new games get released, I think like 7 of them are gonna suck.
Yeah, so I haven't picked up anything new really. I wanted to play one of the new Tom Clancy game,
Wildlands.
Wildlands, yeah.
Kind of open,
what was the review on that? Was the verdict on that?
It didn't play well. It was dumb.
That's
poorly
another thing
written,
You
bad.
tried it on PS4?
No, I didn't even end up buying it. And then
I heard some mixed things about it, but
that's one of the reasons too why I
nothing great, average.
Yeah, no,
I think
painful. It's just
board.
average.
Painful, yeah.
Big AAA release, and then it's just kind of they just check the boxes and that's it.
Well, that's one of the reasons too why I very, very rarely pick up a game on day 1 too. I mean, like I'll pick it up on day 5 or 6 because
I used to buy games day 1 all the time, like years ago for 360 and stuff, but I don't even remember the last game I did that for, honestly.
Same.
It hasn't been that kind of a game to really get me amped up like that. Maybe GTA 5 was the last one, and that was on 360.
That's why you can't go past
the
best
one.
Oh,
you're 30 years.
Man, I'm there too. What do you mean?
No.
Why did you bring up some harsh...
I know,
some harsh
come on, man.
After one, we're really tired.
I mean, I wish you guys can see all the gray hair on my damn goatee, man. I'm only 30. So.
We'll get it.
You look at that camera right there.
Yeah.
No, but I think
that's cool though. Chicks dig it. So
I think MGS5 was the last time I went to like day 1. I had to pick up that game.
How was that too? I never played it.
MGS5
overall. How many points out of 10?
I'd give it an 8 out of 10.
So it was pretty good
because it fell apart story wise, which is kind of weird to say about a Metal Gear game. The gameplay is definitely, in my opinion, the best.
Was Kojima involved in that game or no?
Yeah, he was.
Okay.
That was
his final game.
That's the reason why it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And the gameplay was cool. I played it a little bit, and I didn't get too invested in the story.
Yeah,
nothing was really grabbing me.
It was pretty non-existent for the most part.
But the gameplay was cool.
Yeah, now Metal Gear gets to kill zombies now. Now that Kojima's gone, so
oh god, they
get to kill zombies now.
No, please, I try to forget about that thing. Even Kojima's like, I have no answer for this. Spoilers. No, and all right. Well, speaking of games picking up, you talk about Deus Ex. So
yeah, like I said, I went and rented it just because I was like, man, I missed out on so many games, and I liked the first one that came out, Human Revolution, I think is what it was called.
Right.
And that was a game that I think that also got average reviews, and some people liked it a lot, and some people didn't at all.
Well, no, that game fared way better than the current one.
But I ended up buying that game on like 2 different systems to get a different version of it like later on, and beat it like probably 3 or 4 times. So I really liked it. This new one is pretty cool. And I think it got around 8. It was also kind of received as like an average game, but I'm digging it so far.
Well, like a lot of criticisms I heard about the current one was that if you played the other Deus Ex, like it's just more of the same. Like it doesn't really add anything.
It is, but I guess that's why if you're a fan, it is more of the same. I mean, definitely if you didn't like Human Revolution, you're probably not going to dig this new one. But anyway, it's pretty cool. It is more of the same. But I mean, I liked it. I liked the first one, so having more of it wasn't really a problem for me. There's some cool things where it's kind of like that Samus, like Metroid syndrome, where at the end of the game you have all your gear, and then when the new game starts, it's like, why is it a new game you lose all of your stuff every time?
Right.
Or like a Batman kind of a game where you lose all your gear. This one kind of starts up and you have retained some of that stuff off the bat, which was kind of cool. Like you already had like your cloak and your vision. You didn't really have to like buy it again, so that kind of helped like speed things up in the beginning.
Okay.
The game looks pretty good. It doesn't have like that yellow highlighted tint everywhere like the first one did.
Gosh, yeah, I remember that.
But it's still pretty cool. I mean, it's very like, you know, you can be stealthy, you can be really action based, you can be like confrontational. It's got like the little hacking mini games back, which is still pretty cool. I never really had a problem with that. The story so far isn't too like confusing. I've been able to follow it for the most part.
Yeah.
Granted, I'm only like 4 or 5 hours in, so I probably haven't like really. I'm probably not even halfway through. I only rented it a few days ago just to kind of check it out for this. But
you're enjoying those 4 or 5 hours so far,
yeah, it's been
right?
cool so far. Yeah. I really do enjoy like it has like that kind of conversation like Mass Effect style where you can choose options, and I always thought they did a decent job at that.
Okay.
So and the voiceovers are pretty good. The animations sometimes are a little funky and don't match, but like I've always thought even in the other one that the dialogue was written pretty well, that I was engaged with it. I could watch it and stick it up.
Does it still have like that little stamina like battery thing?
That stuff is all back, but they worked it a little bit better to where it's always on a recharge now. That the recharge is faster and you get more of it. Some of the stuff you do doesn't take away from that bar anymore. It's pretty cool so far overall. And there's a lot of different upgrades. It's like typical. You have your tech tree you can upgrade, all these different systems. The big thing with it is that you're augmented. So you have like robotic arms and legs and stuff. So you can punch through walls is like an upgrade. You use like points that you earn through experience to upgrade like a typical, upgrading like
isn't like his
tech
sunglasses
trees.
Like part of his face?
It's like that's the explanation for like having his on-screen like HUD and minimap. Yeah. Even his eyes, you can like take out and be augmented to robotic stuff. Like it's in the world, it's 2029. It's like in this world where
the future.
Yeah, like some of the stuff too kind of hits to home because it's not too far off of where we might be at with some stuff. People injured and getting like an augmented leg developed by some medical company, and so many people having these augmentations, and
you can't pay for it anymore.
Not just that, but just like getting stuff that's like lethal on them, or you're upgrading yourself to be enhanced and better, and people. As like a threat. And at the end of the first game, there was an incident where kind of a typical everyone with the implants had like got triggered to go on a rampage kind of a thing. And there's like some Illuminati plot points behind it with some stuff. And so this game kind of picks up after that. And so now it's like Mankind Divided is the name. So, you're going through these cities and it's very like Half-Life 2 style, like the opening of Half-Life 2 where you have the police harassing the citizens and just random checks and all this stuff. And it kind of paints that picture at the beginning, and then when you go into the open like hub world, from there it's very much like that's like the atmosphere.
Okay.
And like I said, you can be stealthy. There's times where you try to be as stealthy as you can until you trigger someone, and then you just gotta get out your shotgun like, all right, screw it, I guess we're doing it. And then and then the combat's pretty fun too because it's also a first-person shooter. First-person shooter, but then also like third-person like cover system, kind of like, and it switches between those kind of mechanics and stuff. Yeah.
Speaking of stealth, in games where you have to be stealth, do you guys actually like doing that personally?
I do enjoy it in this game. It's cool.
I always try, but it never works out.
I'm the same too.
There's some games where you just can't. Yeah, you can only do it for so long before you.
And there's some like missions too, like you have to do it, like 'cause if you get caught, the game's over.
Usually when it's the option, I try to be stealthy for as long as I can until I kind of just blow the situation.
Which always happens.
That's kind of how this game goes. Is like. You'll get like your cover blown, and it turns into like a Metal Gear situation where you have like an evasion counter and like a timer, and they do searches for you and stuff. And even the music is weirdly like Metal Gear style, like very like pulsing like drums and synth stuff, and like kind of like futuristic. Like
Metal Gear has some pretty awesome music too.
It reminds me a little bit of it, yeah.
But do you have a box to hide with?
You can go into I think little closets and shut the door. No box.
You're never gonna be the cardboard.
Yeah,
maybe there's a box you can get.
When you open the doors, are like an Asian girl in a bikini.
No, it'll be like some fake futuristic poster
She got robot arms
for like a fake movie or something in their world.
I think I know which one I like better.
But it's
the movie poster.
Yeah.
All right, well, getting into back into new games that are yet to be released. Tekken 7.
Yeah, have any of you guys played it?
No.
Yes, I
Where did
played
you play
it
that?
at the Anime Expo last year.
Yeah, the reason we can never play it, or myself personally, is there's no arcades around here in San Diego anymore.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Finding an arcade, which you can't.
You can go to our local one here is Dave & Buster's, but believe it or not, there's no fighting games at all in that place. It's a big place too, if you can imagine.
No, those are mostly like winning ticket games because they want you to win tickets.
But you'd think they'd have the one, which is
we have a place up in North Park, but it's so far from my taste.
Isn't that the one? I think I know what you're talking about. The one that's combined with the bar.
Yeah, that place is always packed. Yeah. If you're listening to this in San Diego and you try to go, expect for it to be packed.
I've looked into it. Like when I'm walking by, it has like old school games. It has like NBA Jam, it has Street Fighter 2. It has like
The Simpsons.
Yeah,
Simpsons. I don't think Tekken 7's in there.
Yeah, probably not. Cause I was invited to a tournament there a while back, and it had ST2 on the.
Yeah, if you're lucky, they probably have Marvel vs. Capcom 2, right?
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, that's why I haven't played it because there's no arcade here to play it at all. So.
Are you a Tekken player? Are you looking forward to it?
I'm looking forward to it. I'm always looking forward to a new fighting game because when Injustice 2 comes out next month, I don't see myself ever playing Mortal Kombat again, unfortunately.
Dang, the Sub-Zero guy. Sub-Zero is rolling in his popsicle.
Well, the reason I do that is because I play it competitively. I play it for fun, but mostly I play it competitively.
Right.
Everyone knows I play fighting games competitively.
Right.
That's why why should I be practicing Mortal Kombat when the Injustice 2 tournament's going to be up in 2 months? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
So, I'd like to try it out. I mean, I haven't played it since Tekken 5. I remember I loved playing as Kazuya, and I loved playing as Brian Fury a lot, too.
Brian Fury.
I even mained Brian Fury in Street Fighter Cross Tekken.
Okay.
I just loved how psychotic it was, and I loved how his special move was the curb stomper.
Yeah, he's pretty brutal.
Yeah.
I mean, his name is Brian Fury, so
yeah,
should tell you something about that. Yeah, me, I've played all the Tekkens, but I never really had a character that I got hooked on. I'd always be switching around between Law and Paul and
you know who I used to play a lot with our boy Brett. That's why I used to play a lot of Tekken with. Brett played a lot of Tekken. He was a Tekken dude.
I probably played Tekken 2 was the last one I played, and I used that tree stump guy. or the panda, I think was in it, right?
The panda.
Yeah.
He's back. The panda and the bear's back.
I'm excited for that.
But when Tekken Tag 2 came out, I found the character in Bob, and they had a slim version of Bob, which I got really good with. And then that's one of the first tournaments I actually entered was a Tekken Tag 2 tournament.
Was Big Bob and Slim Bob two completely different characters, or was it just a costume design that was different?
They were two different.
So they had like different move sets and everything.
No, they had the exact same move sets, but because of their the body proportions were different. Some of the moves were different.
Okay, like hitboxes and stuff like that.
Yeah, hitboxes were different, but also some of those because Bob uses some of his moves rely on his size, and like he does belly bumps and all that stuff, and Slim Bob doesn't really have that, so they kind of had to change those specific moves. For the most part, they were the same character. I don't know why. He's in the they have Bob is announced for Tekken 7, but
you know who else is back too? Eddie Gordo's back.
Oh, great! I mean,
yeah, that's great for the mashers out there.
Yeah, the bun mash, the capoeira bun mash. Oh man, I hate him so much.
Eddie Gordo, man. What about his God, what was she? A student or his niece? What was she? Christy?
Christy. Yeah, she was like a student.
Is she back or she hasn't been announced yet?
I don't think she's been announced, no.
Yeah, I can tell you who's back. It's a given, too. King's back. That's a given.
Of course, man. King's the man.
Yeah. That's the lion,
the jaguar-looking lion guy. The wrestler, man.
Yep. I know because he's from Mexico.
Yeah. Of course, can't have a Tekken without Paul Phoenix too, right?
Of course. I'm not sure if Law is
flat top guy.
Yeah, big flat top blonde guy.
Yeah, not Guile.
Greatest fighter in the universe proclaimed.
I mean, he's got that forward punch that like does half your life.
Oh, what is that move called? The Sun Fist or the Phoenix Punch? What is it?
Punch.
It's where his arm turns into fire and he punches you.
Yeah,
it loads up slow, but takes like 80% of your health away if you even connect.
It's terrible. And I'm pretty sure he's still going to have it.
Oh, he's going to have it.
So you can't do without that move.
And then, of course, who else is making their debuts? Akuma.
Right. Street Fighter's Akuma.
Yep, he's coming.
We got fireballs in our Tekken, ladies and gentlemen.
Fireballs, Shoryukens, and
is he the only Street Fighter character making that appearance?
Now, his inputs are going to be different, but for his Super, his Raging Demon is going to be the same inputs, which is kind of dope. Because that... You just kind of mesh. I mean, it's a button input. It's not like you're not doing, half circles. And,
it took me forever to freaking learn how to do the Raging Demon. I remember who had to teach me? Tom. Do you remember Tom?
Yeah, Tom Show.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tom Show.
He had to teach me how to do it in Street Fighter Alpha 2. I just had so much trouble doing it, but he showed me an easy way to do it. And of course, it's just repetition. You get repetition. You can do it like you can do it with your one hand tied behind your back.
Yeah, you can do it with your eyes closed, Raging Demon all day. But you know what? I'll jump over it, and then you lose, and that's it. But Tekken 7. I mean, it's weird. This is kind of the weirdest fighting game release I've ever seen because it's been out there as far as like being shown at tournaments.
It was at last year's Evo too, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it's like at every tournament right now. There's a Tekken 7 tournament and everything, but the game's not released.
I've heard about it for a while.
Yeah,
well, I know Taquito he played it. He entered it. Everyone was shocked. He's a Street Fighter player, but he entered it as Akuma. But at the same time, he's in Japan. Japan arcades are still huge down there, so he probably walked down the street and played it as much as he wanted to play it.
Exactly. You gotta get a head start. So it's kind of weird that that game has been unreleased for such a long time, but yet it's already had so much people playing on it. It's kind of weird.
It's gonna be old news by the time it comes out. Everyone's gonna be like, I played it already.
I guess I'm not really hearing, not announcing anything new for it. Like everything is just kind of.
It's going to Evo this year, right?
Yeah, for sure.
It's going to Evo
because it'll definitely be released by then. I think.
But it won't be released that long though.
Yeah, no.
It's going to be out for like a couple of weeks. It's going to come out late June. Don't quote me. I think it comes out late June.
Same thing with the new Guilty Gear.
And the new Guilty Gear is going to Evo too, right?
Yeah, and it's literally like a maybe less than a month after it's released. But it's basically it's an update to the game. Yeah. It's not.
Well, I know tournament rules, Evo rules, as far as DLC characters go, they have to be released at least a week prior, or you can't pick them. So
right.
It's not a surprise to me. It sucks, but it's not a surprise to me that a game coming out a month prior to Evo is going to be
yeah. So yeah, man, Tekken 7. That's I put a lot of time in the Tekken Tag 2. I remember that tournament I went to for it. I had no fight stick. I didn't bring a controller. They were like, we got a controller, and I was like, yeah, whatever. And the controllers they had there was it looked like a PS3 controller, but it was for the PC, and it was for Final Fantasy 14, which was the MMO. I guess because you can play that with a gamepad on the PC, but so they had a special gamepad. And I'm like, how am I going to play Tekken with this? Like, it didn't even have X, triangle, or circle. Like, it had numbers on it because it was meant for the PC.
Well, yeah, you guys remember Tilt at the Chula Vista Mall, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
The last bastion of arcades.
Yeah. Well, I remember at that arcade.
There's some peace, Tilt.
Yeah. I remember at that arcade, if you wanted to, you could plug in your PlayStation 2 controller.
Yep.
So
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And the Tekken ones.
Especially Tekken. Tekken, I don't see any... I mean, of course, if you practice a lot, you're going to get good at it, but a lot of people that I saw that were good at Tekken at that arcade play, and they were playing on their PS2 controller. They weren't...
Yeah, actually, Tekken is a better game to play on the gamepad because, I mean, it's hard to articulate on the podcast because it's audio, but for those watching the video feed here, I didn't play with the controller like this. I had my fingers like this on the face buttons. So it was easier to go boop, boop, tap, 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 back and forth.
So just like a gamepad.
Yeah, kind of like if it was a little mini fight stick, but also doing in Tekken it's called the Korean backdash, which is constant movement, like you're sidestepping and going forward at the same time. Well, they invented the technique, so racism.
Yeah,
that's good.
But basically, doing it on the D-pad is a lot easier and quicker than going moving the joystick around. But the guy I played. So I roll up there, and this nerdy-looking kid comes up with glasses and everything. He has a big old backpack, bigger than him.
Why does he gotta be nerdy? Because he has glasses.
Look at we're at Anime Expo, so it's a safe bet.
Like, I'm not a nerd. I'm an enthusiast.
Okay, well he pulled up.
Yeah, he had the hottest girlfriend there too.
Yeah, he was hunching over with a backpack that was bigger than him. At least this is how it plays in my memory.
Okay.
And he opens the backpack and he pulls out this fight stick that's bigger than his face. And then I'm like, oh snap, this is for realsies.
And go ahead and finish that, then I'll finish my story.
Okay. Okay, so we're playing, right? And it's kind of going back and forth. I made a big mistake of not having I was really good with Slim Bob, but that's it. I didn't have a partner character to play as. So it was just, I would let the guy die and then Bob would come in and then I'll try to win with just Bob. Wow. But he had me on the ropes pretty much. He was going to beat me. And there's a move that I used to do when I played online is every character has an unblockable that does 99% damage.
God.
It has long
That's
charge
fair.
up. It has long charge up. Like for Bob, he does 3 flips, and it's got magic going around his foot, so you can know exactly what's happening. But online, you would either play people that immediately do a move right at the start of the round because you start off right in front of each other, or they block. So when I'm playing somebody online, I'll wait and see what they do in the first round. Either they try to attack me or they're holding block. Because usually the guys that hold block, when it gets to the second round, I'll start the round with the unblockable, and they're just holding block. And most of the time, they don't realize what's happening until it's too late, and then I'll hit them.
Did you hit him with that? You hit the nerd with that?
I did that in the tournament. Everybody watching.
Everyone go, oh, yeah.
Because it was like, you watch Tekken tournaments, nobody does that.
Oh, God.
And I hit him in the face, and I remember looking at him. I had to turn and look at his face. But he did beat me eventually. But yeah.
Speaking of the fight stick thing, I want to do a really quick fight stick story. So remember when we were at Evo, right?
Right.
So you met up with me to watch my match. So I ended up playing, the one guy who picked Jax, and I beat him, right? So I move on to, I move up in winners, and I end up playing that guy Shakadoom, the Tanya player. And so I hook in my controller. I'm like, you want to be first player or second player? He goes, I don't care. Go ahead. And so I hook it in, right? I hook my PlayStation 4 controller in with my USB cord. This guy takes off his backpack, swishes it over his shoulder, opens it up. Here's this big ass fight stick. I'm like, oh god, this guy's serious. This guy ain't fucking around. He means it.
He dropped money on that fight stick.
He dropped money. He dropped at least $250 on that fight stick. It was custom made. I could tell the buttons were custom made. Everything. I'm like, all right, man, fuck it, let's go. So he ends up picking Tanya. I murder that fucking guy. I swept him 2-0.
I was watching right there.
And then I was like, okay, he's going to pick somebody else because he picked Tanya. And Tanya, one of her variations is good against Grandmaster, but the other two are not. He picked the one that was not good against Grandmaster. I'm like, all right, this guy's
when you knew.
Yeah, I was like, this guy's gonna pick somebody else. There's no way he's beating with Tanya. Nope, he picks Tanya again, and I end up beating him. He's like, oh man, I could tell he was pissed because he had to go to losers. But he said good game though. I was like, all right, good game, bro. And then I was like, shit, I thought he had some business with that fight stick, but nope.
Yeah, I mean, when you go to a tournament, especially Evo, everybody's gonna have a fight stick mostly, but that doesn't mean they're pros.
It's like some guy with a nice car. He doesn't know how to drive.
Yeah, exactly.
Or he can't get any women,
But, all that's conjecture. But yeah, man, that's I'll buy Tekken for sure. I didn't get King of Fighters, which was probably the most recent fighting game that came out.
Yeah, I thought about getting it too, but I just never got into it. I was just so focused on getting ready for Evo with MKX. After it was over, I just fuck it, it's too late in the game. I don't like joining fighting games late too. That's why I haven't picked up Guilty Gear.
Okay.
Because it's just so late. I mean, Killer Instinct is why I never picked it up either. It's been since 2012? Don't quote me. It's just way too late to be into it now,
The launch of the Xbox One?
Yeah.
Right, yeah. That was a launch game, yeah.
Yeah, but from what I hear, though, Killer Instinct is an awesome game, though. So, from what I hear.
Yeah, I never played the newest one.
I haven't touched it. I don't have an Xbox, so.
Yeah.
Whatever, son. Play that PS4, kids. But anyways, moving on to another game that's yet to be released, but it's a sequel. Tekken 7 is the 7th game in its installment, but Destiny has a second game coming out.
I'm gonna walk. This is where I walk out.
I
don't need to be a part of this.
Well, let me tell you something about the first Destiny. I bought it and I played it only because of a few reasons, which is one, it was only $7 at GameStop, and two, my daughter wanted it, so I was like, "All right, sweetheart, I'll buy it for you." She
got it way later then.
Yeah, way later. Yeah, it's
I got it launch day. I remember.
Yeah, same here.
No, I got it when it was $7. So, what about you? Did you play it, Danny?
Oh, I got it when Destiny and PlayStation partnered up and they released the white PlayStation. It was amazing. It looked beautiful, and the Destiny game actually was included. Rod actually sold his first PlayStation and got the white one.
I wanted that white PlayStation. I didn't care about Destiny. I had a copy of Destiny already because I bought it on launch day. I wanted that white. So I had 2 copies of Destiny, and you know what? It still sucked. Let's just get into it. Destiny 1 sucked.
Okay, well, answer this if you guys know it. Why did they get rid of Tyrion as the voice over?
Because all his reading was very flat and uninspired, and he phoned it in. Phoned it in. All right, they got the big actor, and
that's the little droid that's flying around. The
ghost.
Yeah.
Voiced by Peter Dinklage.
Let me go activate this. Hold on a second.
Yeah, the wizard came from the moon, which is the famous line everybody likes.
I'll see if I can get it started. Hold off for 3 minutes.
Hold on, man.
But nobody told him while he was doing this voiceovers, hey, come on, man, pump it up, be a little more enthusiastic.
I don't know, maybe he was like...
They probably told him to be,
He's like,
maybe he's like, hurry the fuck up! I gotta film Game of Thrones in a couple hours.
He's like, I'm a character in Game of Thrones, and you want me to voice this robot here?
Looks like
doesn't even have a face.
Yeah, it looks like that goddamn paper game playing things
that
the high school girls. The high school girls play.
Yeah, all those things didn't come true.
You're never gonna get a car.
Oh no!
Oh, you gotta marry Ruben.
Oh no! But
you're gonna be Miss Sub-Zero.
Miss Sub-Zero guy.
That's what it says, Sub-Zero.
Sub-Zero.
Even back in the day.
The prophecy was fulfilled right there.
I was really excited for that game when it was coming out, though. But I was bummed.
We all were. That game was the hype around that game was set to be.
But there's so many people that are just really, really into it,
but you're always gonna have that fan base, man. I'm pretty sure there's people still playing.
We know people that got hooked on.
Yeah, there's some things that were cool, but I mean, I even beat the game. I beat the campaign. Kind of forced myself like near the end of it to get through it, just to see it through, and then afterwards it's like
here's the DLC.
Honestly, in retrospect, thinking about it, it's almost like a Zelda situation where after you're done, you're kind of like, well, what's the point of any of this
How did I get
other
here?
stuff? This is not my beautiful wife. This is not my car.
Okay, that's all you can say for copyright. You know? We don't
but
get taken down.
Yeah, it was like that. I felt like UK, you get new guns that have some kind of stat on it all the time, but it's like, okay, well, I'm still getting either a shotgun, pistol, or a rifle, the same 4 or 5 different guns. I mean, I don't really care about it doing 10 more damage electric instead of fire. And other than that, there wasn't a lot to go for. I mean, it was a lot of like, why don't you switch out gear and weapons?
It was just empty things.
It was like coming off of something like Halo 2. I was really expecting some cool sci-fi weapons and vehicles, and it was all missing.
Sorry for interrupting. What about this? Did any of you guys go ape shit when you got the Gallahorn?
I didn't even get that far, man.
I didn't even care to get it. What,
I didn't even get that far.
No, I've seen those YouTube videos where they just
had a rocket launcher. Now this one's gold. Great.
Yeah, I've seen those YouTube videos where they just go crazy, like they literally won the lottery.
I mean,
I got the Gallahorn. I got the Gallahorn.
Cool, just the setup for the game, they had just to let you know, they had a 5-year plan. We're not 5 years in Destiny, as far as I know. I think we got 2-3 years, and they're already like, we gotta jump ship, move it, make another game, and erase all your character data. Yep. So you gotta start fresh.
Even when they were coming out with the DLC, there was not much in that DLC there was nothing new. It was like, okay, here's more strikes or some other maps or some new gear, but it's like there was nothing.
Raids. From what I hear, the raids were the only reason to really play Destiny. But to get there, you had to beat the game.
With it from the next
beat the game?
You had to beat the game. So all the cool stuff that was cool, quote unquote, you had to beat the game and do post-game content, and it's all there.
Well, but the raid just means that you go through like an area and then fight a big boss at the end, right?
Yeah, but they were long and they were actually well put together from what
I didn't play it too much. I thought it was
with no new enemy types and stuff.
But they had big bosses and stuff like that. And
yeah, from what I remember, I
mean, the game didn't have much. Come on.
Remember my daughter watching my daughter play it. I remember there'd be like some missions where like you had to team up with like 2 or 3 other people. Yeah. But she never beat the game. I never beat the game.
I mean, I think the game scales too, depending on how many people you have with you. So
yeah, but I think the raids were more people. That's why they were a big thing.
Yeah. Okay. It was more than the 4, I believe.
Right. The problem was the demo. I don't know if any of you guys played the beta.
No.
Well, the beta showed you like, you saw the map and there's the moon. And
I did play the beta.
Earth, right?
Yeah, I remember.
And you're playing like, this game is alright, but I'm kind of worried that this is all there is.
And it turns out that's what it was.
And that's exactly when you got the game, that's exactly what it was. There wasn't much else to it.
I was really excited when it was coming out of the idea of being in this world where seamlessly you could join another person's game and they would join your game without like accepting or requesting it. I thought that idea was really cool, just to be in this open world with you're doing your thing, shooting enemies, and then someone else comes along and you just all of a sudden team up and get into a fight and then be on your way or something. But
yeah,
a game that already did that.
But
okay, so
yeah,
now we have to
but just being in this kind of first person
because there's a game that does everything Destiny does.
What's it called?
Exactly.
It's called Warframe, and it's free on the PC, PS4. I don't know about Xbox. But me and Danny played on the PS4, and that game
is a clone. You're basically playing a clone.
Kind of, but it was out way before. Like Warframe was an old game, and it's basically a lot like Destiny. But you know, in Destiny, when you're going with your ships and there's your friend, you're going to the level. Like you can control your ship in Warframe. Destiny, you can't. You're just watching the screen. Like, come on, son.
Yeah, I thought that was weird too. Like, cause I remember watching my daughter playing, and she like bought all these customizations for a ship or whatever. I'm like, okay, when do you get to use the ship? I mean, like, You just
it's
purely cosmetic.
Yeah, purely cosmetic. Yeah. But Warframe has that. You can move around the ship during the loading screen, but you can also use it to call in airstrikes. Oh. And like certain ships have different abilities. So some do airstrikes, some do like send an assist or whatever, rocket support, whatever, all that stuff.
So go and get Warframe.
Go play Warframe.
It's free.
It's gonna cost you nothing.
It's free. You'll have more of a good time.
And Destiny, they got rocket jumps, but in Warframe you're ninjas, so you slide around and do triple jumps. And you have cool melee weapons. Like, it's ridiculous. And it's free. So,
what's to lose? Nothing.
Play Warframe.
Just a couple
Only thing you're going to lose is less Destiny time, which is okay.
Yeah, especially, and Destiny, they're going to make you drop money.
Yeah.
Warframe's not going to make
And as far as part 2 goes, I don't think it's going to change the formula anymore. I think it's just going to be, here's more weapons, more cosmetic stuff, and like people just want more of that, but they're not going to change the formula.
You think it's going to be a big expansion then?
I think it's just going to be, here's new powers, here's new weapons.
Yeah,
but
classes too. You make a class too, right?
I think it's still going to be the same 5 or 6 weapons. It's going to be like, here's more sniper rifles, rocket launchers, grenade, machine gun, shotgun, and they're going to have those 6, but hundreds of different variations between those. But at the end of the day, it's like every time I got a new rifle, I'm like, well, this is my rifle, but it does 5 more damage. Mm-hmm. And then who cares because the enemy's leveled up with me, so I'm back to being where I was at.
Yeah,
it looks a different color now, and like
it just looks like more Destiny.
Yeah, I remember Destiny having like races you can choose from. Like it can be like a human or a robot or an alien, something like that, right?
That's it. The 3, and you had 3 classes.
I remember my daughter being like really frustrated because she wanted to be this and that, but she just really couldn't pick.
Yeah, there wasn't much customization options in there for sure. It wasn't.
So there's probably more of that then, right? You think so?
You would think, right, that they actually they're cutting their 5-year plan in half, so they would learn from their mistakes, right? But I don't know. I guess I know I probably offended some friends that I have that are super into Destiny, but you know what? You know what game you're playing.
Yeah, I mean,
you messed up.
That's just the thing, though. If you like one game and you ask 100 people what do you think about it, those 100 people are not going to agree with you.
Yeah, for sure.
I really wanted to like it.
There's some objectively things that like Destiny. Can say they messed up.
Yeah, I mean, there was enough cool stuff. Like I said, I was able to beat the game. It carried me that far, but at the end of it, I put the controller down and never really played it again. It was at that point where I was like, okay.
The actual gameplay was solid, like the shooting and everything.
Yeah, that was fine.
That's Bungie caliber.
I mean, yeah, not a lot of like...
Not hyped up to what everyone's saying.
Well, it was just a lot of nothing.
Yeah, not a lot of cool, not a lot of guts and stuff to it to keep me involved.
Even the people that were into the game, they would stop playing and then wait for a new expansion to come out, and then they would play the new expansion, and then when they were done, they would stop playing until the next one came out. So like, even the loyal fan base was doing the same thing. Like, what are you gonna do?
Did you guys see the Thor trailer, Ragnarok?
Yeah. I saw a thumbnail. I didn't see the movie. Doesn't like Hulk wearing like a helmet?
It's kind of like
wearing his armor.
It's taking like that Planet Hulk idea.
Yeah. Which he looks like Shrek with the helmet
on. Oh no!
I thought the trailer was cool though.
Can't call Hulk.
So you like the trailer?
Yeah, it had a cool vibe to it. It kind of like the whole logo screen reminded me of what is it? Far Cry Blood Dragon, like that 80s style neon.
80s style, yeah.
Okay, well this. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It was paired with a pretty cool like Led Zeppelin song for the trailer, but I mean, aside from that, like it seems cool. I like how they're changing it up a little bit to where he's getting his hair cut and he's like changing, like it's kind of painting a different picture of Thor.
He's cool now.
Not that he's cool, but they're trying to shake that image.
I know we
a little
messed
bit
up
of him.
in the other 2 movies.
Hey, I didn't think those were that bad either.
Well, since you guys want to talk about movie trailers for the last couple of minutes, when I was on my YouTube binge watch with my daughter over break, she's a huge Zendaya fan, and I think she's pretty hot too. What do you guys think of the new Spider-Man remake?
Oh, Homecoming?
Yeah.
I had to stop myself from watching that trailer because I feel like they were giving so much away. And I really want to see that movie. Like, I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. And I'm really stoked to see that. But I got almost to the end of it, and I was like, you know what? I feel like, they just gave a lot of the plot points away in that trailer. And I didn't really want to get all that spoiled for me right away. So I know it's going to be cool. I just stopped watching the trailer. Yeah, I was like, you know what? It's going to be cool. I don't need to see this. Yeah, it does look awesome, though, from that trailer, what I saw.
I haven't looked it up, too, but isn't, like, the original Batman the Vulture, too?
Yeah, Michael Keaton.
He's the Vulture, right? He's the Vulture. I think he looks pretty cool in the trailer. The Vulture looks pretty cool.
He actually looks cool. I mean, I'm not so hyped.
It was a long trailer, the newest one, too. Yeah. That's what I was saying about giving stuff away. It showed a lot of arcs for the story, I think, in that trailer.
I'm not too hyped on Spider-Man. I haven't been in it for a long time.
Yeah.
But
I'm going to see
I did think the last movies were even pretty cool.
I know I'm going to see because my daughter's going to make me, so...
But the last ones weren't bad either.
If I'm correct, I did see they had the Ultimate Spider-Man outfit in there where he was wearing the blue hoodie.
Yeah.
Was that in the trailer?
I think so.
I think I saw that and I was like, all right, I think because that outfit is is gangster. I mean,
part of the story is he gets his cool suit from Tony Stark stripped away from him.
Yeah. So
Iron Man's in there too. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Seems like he's in there quite a bit.
Which I remember hearing people complain about, which doesn't make any sense.
Well, isn't he like part of the Avengers? They're trying to get Spider-Man.
Well, they've had a lot of cameos of other characters in their movies.
But even then, the people are like, "Oh, it's gonna be Tony Stark's movie now." It's like, no,
I really doubt that. I mean,
no, I think that they're using him as a mechanic for the story to have him. That's what I was saying about the trailer giving stuff away. It looks something early on is going to happen, and he messes up or something, and Tony's like, give me that suit back. And he's pissed at him. He's going to disappear. Then he's dealing with his own. It's just him and Vulture. There's no like outside help. It's like his own personal he has to deal with. And I think the story's going to kind of come to terms with him finding his identity of what kind of a hero he is.
Yeah. Well, but I mean,
and then maybe that's going to lead to some kind of proof, and then being part of the Avengers in the next Avengers, and
Well, to clarify, also people getting upset about that. If you read any Spider-Man comic, you would know that Tony Stark actually shows up a lot in that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's not. It's very close to the source material.
And I think it's cool that Robert Downey Jr. has been cool enough to
just
keep that character and just be totally invested and be involved. And
I mean, it's not hard. If you know Tony Stark's character, it's basically him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like his 9th movie as Iron Man, right?
I mean, he kicked off the whole universe with Iron Man 1 back in. He's had cameos in a couple other movies, I believe.
Man, imagine if Mickey Rourke makes a cameo in that movie.
Are they bringing Spirit back? Oh,
with that faceplate thing?
And his bird?
He gets blown up again?
I want my bird. I want my bird.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
he's like, I'll buy you 10 birds, or whatever he says.
Yeah,
Sam Rockwell. He was great in that movie, too, Sam Rockwell.
As the competitor.
Yeah.
He never stood a chance.
Well, she's
the bunker buster or whatever they remember. And
he talks it up and everything, and then it just falls off the guy.
Let's not talk about
I don't remember what he calls that, but yeah. I mean, other than that, anybody have anything else? I was probably gonna Incubus, the new album.
Yeah, you're so from my understanding, out of all four of us,
we'll probably go into it more in depth next time.
Well, if you want to do it really quick, you can go ahead. Well, not even real quick. Take your time.
Yeah, I'll listen to it. I barely got to listen to it through once, but I'll kind of go more in depth.
So far,
maybe first impression.
It's cool. I know that. I mean, I know it's a band that everyone associates with, the back in the day. Kind of they were high school.
They're still alive.
But they're one of those bands that still, puts out music, whether people are listening to it or not.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't hear the album before this last one that just came out, which is called 8, yesterday or the day before, and so I missed the one in between. But the last one, Light Grenades, which had Animali, which was kind of like a famous song. You guys might have heard it. It had a video.
The only thing I remember about Incubus is that they remixed that Fat Joe song, I Don't Want to Be a Player No More. I
don't even remember that.
The only thing I remember about Incubus is a lot of people listened to them when we went to high school together, and I was not one of them.
Okay, well, there you go. Well, I was.
Yeah, if you were not a fan then, I mean, you're probably not going to be a fan now.
Yeah.
But they're still rocking. The album was pretty cool from what I heard. Because the last album I had heard, which was 2 albums ago, was pretty poppy, kind of got a little softer and dreamy, and I was like, this is my Incubus. And this album kind of, from what I heard, just the one playthrough, it's more rock and roll.
They're back.
It reminds me of some of the other albums. I mean, if it's something you dig before, I think
it's cool because I always wondered from time to time, what happened to those bands I used to listen to? Because I still listen to the old stuff. I really don't get.
The bands I listen to, they're broken up.
I mean, it's one of those things too, where it's the original members. Those guys. I know some of the members do some side stuff, and those projects maybe aren't so great because I've heard a couple. But when you get the original members of this band together, what you'd expect, and it's pretty cool. There's even near the end, there's 11 tracks, so it's not a super long album, but the 10th album is just a nice instrumental, really cool, just, guitar playing and solos and stuff in it. But
do you think you listen to the whole album in an hour or under an hour?
Yeah, I think, about. And, I mean, even it kicks off pretty strong. The first couple of songs are pretty, rock and roll. There's a couple of songs, from what I remember, got a little softer, but nothing that was, real poppy or, real corny or anything,
Incubus. Still around.
Yeah, just
it's good to know.
Bring up some music thing on here.
What I think always messes up your favorite band is when, for whatever reason, rather they kick him out or he goes on his own or she goes on his own, is when the lead singer's no longer there.
That's usually the case,
where it's tough to bounce back losing.
Yeah, and I used to listen a lot to, and all my ex-girlfriends used to call me gay for doing it. I used to listen to a lot of 3 Days Grace. And so when they got rid of Adam, I was like, no, I'm not. This new album.
I'm no longer a fan.
I was like, no, I got to listen to that Saint of Sonia now, whatever that's called, because Adam's on there now. So.
Okay. Well, yeah, I kind of had the same with like Blink-182. Used to listen to them a lot, and then like Tom was never a good singer, but like that was the band, you know, like that was the sound of it. So now they got a new guy.
Yeah, the guy from Alkaline Trio.
Yeah, he can sing.
And I saw them in concert once. He was pretty cool. They were good.
He can sing, right? But it doesn't sound right now for some reason. Like,
I mean, it's definitely a different tone. I mean,
well, it's just like I'm used to because Tom can't sing, but like that was the sound.
But he had that high pitched tone, and this guy is more.
It's just not the same.
Middle ground.
It's not the same. Like I listened to 3 Days Grace's new album. I mean, it's a cool album, but it's not Adam. So.
And my favorite songs of Blink, by the way, were like the Mark songs where he was singing. Usually were the better ones, I thought. I think also his writing, his lyrics were just more raw and like straightforward.
Cool.
Well, unless anyone else has something else to say.
As far as topic goes, man, I'm pretty good. Yeah. So.
Danny?
I'm good.
All right. I think we got more Danny on this podcast.
Yeah.
So that's a nice
Maybe, I don't know if there's any...
Yeah, that Tylenol really worked for his head, man. So.
Yeah, last time he exploded, and then he came back together. He was like, "I got it, guys. This time I'm ready." So here we are. And,
is there anything in between coming up? This next podcast that we should be checking out?
Gorilla's new album.
Okay, there you go.
Gorillas are back.
See, I covered the Incubus, so maybe we'll get another music topic in next time, Danny, if you want to check it out.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
I'll YouTube it and try to hear a little bit.
That's like the first album I ever bought. Gorillas, the first album they came out with.
Yeah. Maybe I'll try to check out a new game.
For sure. And I've got pretty good feedback about the last episode. People really enjoyed our
Glad you guys like
guest.
it. Glad you guys like it.
And we're going to put the video up, I think, for this one, so hopefully it doesn't look too bad.
Yeah, for those, we'll have a video feed for this podcast, so if you want to see our faces while we're talking.
The faces behind the mics.
Yeah, I didn't bring my Sub-Zero mask today, guys, so sorry about that.
Yeah, so, I mean...
Hopefully this audio version will be cleaned up, sound a little bit better too. We're just trying to work on that each week, get it a little bit more fine-tuned.
Yeah, I like to think we're improving with each episode for sure. As for Adrian, he will be back for sure.
Yeah, he enjoyed being here. He enjoyed being here. My brother really enjoyed being here, and he really enjoyed.
That was a cool talk.
Yeah, he really enjoyed telling his stories. He's got, honestly, probably about 475 more to tell. So. So we got the new mic. Once that new mic is hooked in, he'll be here on a daily basis.
Yeah,
a weekly basis. We'll have
and after that, hopefully we can just use that for some special guests to come in on rotation or something.
Yeah, my brother. I mean, can't make any promises because I'm not my brother, but my brother does know a lot of pro MMA fighters. I mean, they've done a lot of podcasts. They live here. Like one of them lives like literally down the street from Tanner, so we'll try to get one. We'll try our best to get one of them to be a special guest on the podcast.
Sure. And now we got a video podcast. I mean,
we'll
fight them right here on the podcast.
So, we always try to make like the next episode better than the last. So we're glad you guys like it. We're glad you guys always tune in. So I'm glad that you guys leave the likes.
Yeah, this one really moved. We got into the games, and it's just I didn't expect it to be over this quickly. So I think we had to extend it, a little extended edition for you guys, episode 4.
I think people are used to like an hour and a half long podcast nowadays. So
I mean, I've seen podcasts that are 3 or 4 hours long.
Yeah, so this is right about an hour and 15 or so.
Yeah, we try to keep it.
All right, well, as always, Threadcast, where can we be reached?
Everyday Thread. Check it out on Instagram, Facebook, .com, Twitter. What else? SoundCloud. YouTube,
SoundCloud is where the podcast will be posted.
Yeah, YouTube, that's just going to get you video gameplay, Let's Plays with a couple people. But
people in this room.
The SoundCloud is where you're going to find all the podcasts. And it's got all the timestamps. So if you're trying to just jump straight to stuff, although if you're listening to this now, you've already listened to the other hour and a half of it. So you're too late. But going forward, know that you can look at those timestamps in the description and jump ahead.
For sure. Right. And Grandmaster, you want to throw some plugs?
Same as what Tanner just mentioned. If you want to look at me personally, it's Grandmaster Space Gamma at both Yahoo and Twitter. All my matches are posted up. My Injustice 2 matches are going to be posted up. And I don't know, I'm trying to get a few Muay Thai videos going around too, because a lot of my viewers are saying, well, let me see what you can do in Muay Thai, and I've just never been able to have that cameraman or camera girl, and then when I do get them, they bail out, cancel out. So do my very best to do that. So.
Or it's all zoomed in.
Yeah, it's all zoomed in, you know.
His mouth right there.
It's like yeah. So that's
Ongbak, you ever see Ongbak? Speaking of Muay Thai.
What's that?
Ongbak.
Heck yeah.
Great movie.
Only watch the first one, please.
We'll go into that next week, maybe. That'll be my movie topic.
So that's where you guys can all find me, too. Another thing, too, is if you're watching this on social media, if you leave that like button, I really do appreciate it. If there's anything you guys want us to talk about, go ahead and leave it in the comment section. I'm sure we'd be more than happy to do that for you.
If you got questions, same thing. It's we'll answer them here. I'd like to have like a question, answer section.
I know it's still small time and
Q&A,
not getting a lot of visuals, but if you do see it and you have a thought, definitely I would love to have someone fuel the fire with a comment.
Fuel the fire, son.
Well, I did that. I did that with my my YouTube page when I got 100 subscribers. I made a special saying, okay, I'm going to do a Q&A in a couple of days. I got a good fair amount of questions. Yeah. So if you got about between 80 to 100 people listening, I'm sure we'll get a pretty good Q&A going.
Well, if you hear this, then leave a...
Tell your friends. Let us know what you want to hear. Tell your kids. Tell your wives.
Maybe not your young kids, because there might be some language in here.
Yeah, I mean, look, to be fair, Sub-Zero guy, he's toned it down since the first...
I might have actually dropped some F-bombs more than...
Yeah.
Even I'm thinking of like, hey,
you're not listening.
Somebody's got to fill the gap here. Like,
you're not listening to that podcast because that Sub-Zero guy.
That Sub-Zero guy.
His swearing ratio is real low right now.
Yeah,
we got to fill in the...
He said the F word, and Tanner didn't edit it out.
Oh, no.
So it's both their faults.
Yeah, that's
double boom, producer blame. And then I didn't call you out on this, so it's my fault too. And then Danny, he didn't say anything.
That's what happens when someone's talking over the F-bomb. I can't edit it. Sorry, people.
Well, that's
I'm not going to sacrifice the other.
That's my goal, all right? You gotta keep the integrity of the podcast, okay? F-bombs are allowed, and they will continue to be allowed until I decide to drop one, and then it's over.
You gotta lighten up a little bit, I think, if you're really...
Yeah, if you're this far into it and if you listen to all our episodes, Sub-Zero, it's a cuss to get.
I can swear if it was every other word, maybe, but if it's a casual, then that's you gotta let that go.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, not to end on a weird note there, but...
All right, whatever. That's gonna do it for the episode of Threadcast, episode 4, ladies and gentlemen. Tune in next week for episode 5, and I guess in the immortal words of Sir Charles Barkley, that guy's a knucklehead. Good night, everybody.
All right. See ya.